All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at it. This is the Renatus J.A.M. My name is Jay Stark, and joining me as always is my fearless co-host,
Mr. Matt Snyder.
And we have like a background track going on right now. We got some music in the background. Oh, there it is.
I'm not hating it.
Of course not. It's totally your era of music.
It's my era.
Yeah, man. You are now considered vintage.
Yeah, I'm old.
You are old.
Yeah, I now don't know what the kids are up to.
The urban youth of today.
Yes, I don't know. I'm out of it. I'm no longer in it.
Oh, man. You know that I'm out of it. I don't even know what it is anymore.
I don't. And I tell you, it's a sad day when you grow old.
So I got to wonder, is it that magical age of 20? Because when a car is 20 years old, it qualifies as an antique. And you can get those antique plates, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm wondering, is it once you get 20 years past your teenage years, that's when you become like vintage, like old?
Actually, I would say that seems about right, because that's about what it feels like. It's about 20 years past, those teenage years that you start to go, I'm out of it. I'm not.
When I was a teenager, 40 years old was like old man.
Yeah, it was. It was to me too.
And now that I'm 40, I'm like, I remember being your age, punk.
Yeah, my issue was, man, I thought I knew so much more than I knew.
Oh yeah.
And now I'm painfully aware of how much I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
See, that's knowledge and wisdom right there.
It must be, because I know a lot less than I did when I was 15.
Funny. Dude, I tell you what, it's been you remember when we were kids? Parents, grandparents would say, oh, I had to walk to school uphill both ways, 3 miles and 4 feet of snow barefoot.
Yep.
And now I find myself going, kids today, man, my phone was connected to the wall. I had to ride my bike everywhere. I had to, if I wanted to talk to a friend, I actually had to dial a number and call them. And
totally.
And I find myself becoming like, the whiny adult of yesteryear.
Yeah. It's funny. Pretty soon I'm going to be the guy that's yelling, get off my lawn. Right? Like, it's just I guess it's a human kind of thing you just do. You move through these ages and the progression, and before you know it, you're going to be annoyed with people on your lawn.
Oh, so the moral of the story is we should never judge somebody, because one day that could be us too.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I think so for sure. There's a lot of things I was like, man, when I grow up, I'm going to do XYZ, like, be cool. Like,
right.
Right.
Oh,
I'm going to, have a skate park in my backyard and let all the kids, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you get older and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
And now I'm at an age where I'm like, dude, close the front door. You're letting all the AC out.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it is. So, yeah.
Oh man, I'm starting to feel old, Matthew. That's not even. That's funny.
It happens. It happens to all of us.
That's the plan, right? Each one of us wants. That's what we're angling towards.
Well, as long as you keep living, you'll grow old.
Yeah.
So.
Right on. Well, hey, Mr. Snyder.
Yeah.
What's new and exciting?
Man, well, I'll tell you what I'm excited about that's new.
What's that?
The new 10-day challenge that's coming up.
Buddy. Yes, sir.
That gets me excited.
That gets me excited.
Because it's I've said it before, I'll say it again, but it gets really fun for me to watch the orders and the people that start the names that I don't know start producing sales. That's fun for me.
Oh yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's so cool to see the momentum that gets built in people's businesses, but then also the belief that changes in their mindset.
Oh yeah.
Which is my personal favorite part to actually witness.
Yeah.
Is they go from that I don't know how to, all right, I'm going to give it a go, to I got this.
Yep. Yeah,
which
that's fun.
I love that.
Fun to watch that, and fun to watch lives change, as a result. So
yeah, and so we've got this. This one is starting on September the 6th, which is the first Tuesday in September. So we took a couple of months off, and now we are back at it. Now, there's a side benefit to this being on the 6th of September. Do you know what that is?
Is that a holiday? Is it Labor?
No.
I don't even know. Labor Day or one of those? I don't know.
I think Labor Day might be this is going to sound
close.
stupid. I should know.
Close,
Labor Day is like the first Monday in September, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
I should know that. That's sad. I apologize. See, now I'm showing my youth. I don't even know when Labor Day is.
Yeah, you got to be older for that.
So here's the deal. On the 1st of September, that marks the beginning of the next 5-star winner circle.
Yes.
And so what better way to kick off the 5-star winner circle than with the 10-day challenge?
Seems like a really good way to immerse yourself in money-making activities.
Exactly. Somebody asked me not long ago, they go, Jay, what? There's so many different things that I could be doing. Where do I focus? And I said, have you heard of the 10-day challenge? And she goes, yes. I said, do that. And when you're done, do it again.
That's the same advice I would give. That's, you want to get started, start with the 10-day.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't get distracted with anything else. Just start with the 10-day.
You know what? I recently listened to Art Williams' Do It Again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I love that speech.
You got to look that speech up. If you haven't seen Art Williams' Just Do It speech, look it up on YouTube. You can find it, but
it's a little older now. But he's the founder of
what is that company? It was
Transamerica?
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
Transamerica Financial, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And he talks about what it takes to find success in business in the United States today.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
It's a phenomenal speech. Oh, yeah. Everybody should watch it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I sent it over to my nephew. He'd never heard of it before, and I sent it over to him, and I was like, dude, check this out. Because he's right. He's going to college. He's getting to that point where he's starting to make decisions that are going to affect the rest of his life. And I was like, hey, man, just watch this. Check this out. Yeah. And he ate it up. He loved it. It was awesome.
That's cool. That was probably given before he was born.
Oh, man, why did you have to go and ruin a good thing?
I'm going to look it up.
It was totally given before he was born.
Yeah, I'll see when it was given.
Because he was, man, Matthew, you had to pull me back to that call. That's hurtful. Anyway.
Were you alive when he gave it?
Of course I was. That was in the 90s.
I know. I need to find out when it was. No, it wasn't. It was 1987.
Wow. Okay, yeah, I was totally alive, but I was like 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah, it goes back, but the principles apply.
They do.
They didn't change.
They did not change.
Yep.
If anything, they apply more now than they did even then.
Probably because at least it feels like less people are applying them now, so you get to stand out even more.
Yep. So that's Art Williams. Just Do It.
Yep.
Check that out. 1987.
Nike probably stole that from him.
You know what? Never mind. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, he did it in
Phil Knight.
87. So
Phil Knight is, man, he's in like the top 10 still, isn't he?
Like richest people in the world. I don't know.
Phil
his
Knight's
family, like his.
He's still alive, isn't he?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
maybe
know.
he's not. I think he actually passed.
I
thought
he had passed away.
Phil Knight's the co-founder of Nike.
Yep.
And he was really the driving force. He teamed up with his track coach from Oregon State, and they developed Nike. They first started by selling Tiger athletic shoes here in the U.S. And then Tiger cut him off, and so he started doing his own thing with Nike.
Yeah. Well, and if memory serves, didn't they start selling shoes like in Africa or something? What did I?
No. He bought shoes from Japan. Okay. So he did this world tour when he was a young guy. He had just graduated college. If I remember right, he had a job, but then he decided that he was going to do a world tour. And so he ended up first going to Hawaii, stayed in Hawaii like longer than he thought he would, got tired of it, and then he made the leap over the Pacific, and he was in Asia somewhere, and he ended up spending time in Japan. And that's when he really started to find these experiences that led him back to shoes. He was always a consummate runner, loved running, and that's what really led him to start selling shoes in the U.S.
And he's got a book Shoe Dog, right?
Yeah.
See, I
Shoe
think
Dog.
I think it's a story from that book that I'm thinking of where he was talking about opportunity and how somebody went to Africa and was like, you can't sell shoes there. Nobody wears shoes in
Right.
Africa. And I think if memory serves, Phil Knight was like, dude, like
Perfect.
yeah, nobody has shoes. Like,
Everybody wants some.
exactly. And so, boy, there's a lesson right there, though, right? In how you perceive things and opportunity, because
Right.
it's a kind of a funny story.
That kind of brings me back to the obstacle is the way.
Yeah.
A lot of people focus on the obstacle, and people who are more committed to just getting it done, they focus on the way.
Yeah.
And realizing that, going through that obstacle is often the shortest path to overcoming it.
Usually it's a rare occasion, I think, where that's not it's
Right.
I think the obstacle 99% of the time is the way.
Is the quickest way to get on the other side. It's interesting. One of my heroes is Winston Churchill, and he has a quote that says, "When you're going through hell, keep going."
Yeah, don't stop.
Don't stop. Don't wallow. Don't just keep going.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you go, man. Go watch Art Williams. Just do it. Read the book Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. That's his autobiography that he wrote. And then, follow Winston Churchill, because that guy rocks.
Yeah, that's some good advice right there. There's 3 people you should read up on.
Yeah.
Those are great stories, great mentors, if you will.
Yeah.
So,
it's really interesting. If you ever read Think and Grow Rich, when Napoleon Hill starts talking about the what did he call that council? He had that like a mastermind where
he did.
He took characters from history and kind of put them around a table in his mind, and then had a discussion with them.
I can't remember the term.
I can't either right now, and that's kind of bugging me.
Yeah.
But Winston Churchill's on mine.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Okay, so
it's a 10-day
10-day challenge.
You should 10-day it up.
So one thing here with the 5-star winner circle.
Yeah.
We've just brought it up. We are hosting now an abbreviated 5-star winner circle contest, where it only runs from September 1st through November 30th.
I got to tell you, I like that so much more.
Yeah.
Because I think that it will shake the contest up even more, probably a lot more.
Yeah.
Because I think what it does is it gives people that don't normally make those contests a real shot, because when you spread it out over an entire year, you tend to get the averages.
Yeah.
Right. But over 3 months, that just there, I if I were to look at like the top 20 people in the company right now, in a 3-month period of time, they're going to shift if you just take that 3-month period of time a lot. But if you take a whole year, generally the top 5 end up the top 5 every time, right? Or dang near close to them. So let's shake it up.
This is going to be cool, because instead of a marathon, this is going to be a sprint.
Yes.
We're going to see people that are not waiting until the very end to start producing. They're going to get at it right now.
Yeah, you just need somebody who's just going to hustle.
Yeah.
For 3 months.
Yeah.
And they're gonna win it.
Yeah.
So that's really cool, and it's gonna be a fun trip, like all together.
Well, so here's the deal. The 5-star winner circle, before we get to the trip part, we'll get there in just a second. Matt really talked about it being an even playing field, that people that are brand new and people that have been here for a long time are on level ground, because all that counts towards the 5-star winner circle, the ranking, is personal production. It doesn't include overrides. It doesn't include team production. It doesn't include event fees. It doesn't include OES. It doesn't include anything else other than personal production.
Yeah.
And so because of that, everybody's on equal footing.
Yep.
And actually, don't tell anybody I said this. The pack members usually have to take quite a bit more time managing their teams. So this actually gives a little bit of a benefit to those people that are maybe brand new or don't have a huge team yet.
Yeah.
because they can just get in there and crank it and not have to worry about managing a team.
Yeah,
So,
that's why I'm excited. So that's what gets me is I think we're gonna see some people that don't normally win this
right.
win it.
So here are the qualifications for what counts in the 5-star winner circle. Any order that is created in the contest period, is signed and funded in the contest period, counts.
Okay. Order has to be created in the contest period,
in the contest period,
and then signed and funded
in the contest period
as well. So
yeah.
Okay, so those 3 things need to happen for an order to count.
Yes.
Okay.
And so before we even get the question, if somebody creates an order on November 30th, the last day of the qualification period, and they put in a cashier's check as the payment type and get it signed, and they say, oh, yeah, it's ready to go, it's not. Until the funds are received, those funds do not count toward the order and therefore have not been received in the contest qualification period.
Gotcha.
So that's something that everybody needs to be aware of, just so you don't get caught off guard on what counts and what doesn't. It has to be created, has to be signed, and has to be funded in the contest period between or on or between September 1st and November 30th.
So cashier's checks don't count.
Nope.
Unless we actually receive the cashier's check.
Exactly. But if you place an order on the 30th of November,
no placeholders.
No placeholders. If you submit an order on the 30th of November, it's signed and then paid for on the 30th of November, it counts.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. Okay.
So
I like that.
We're going to start talking about, we're going to put the leaders board out there probably the first or second week of September. We'll start showing who's in the lead, kind of where everybody's at. Then in typical style, we're going to freeze the results. And then at the end of the contest, I believe it's going to be on like December 5th. We're going to make a big announcement on the Founders Live.
Cool.
And let everybody know.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
So, yeah, right on.
It's going to be super cool. Anyway, so that is the next 5-star winner circle. Now, the award, not only are you going to get national bragging rights and recognition on the stage at nationals, but you're also going to get what?
Well, a trip.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too. To Bear Lake.
Bear Lake.
Yeah. And my understanding is everybody's staying in Bear Lake, right?
Yes,
they're staying in the same place.
They are staying in Glen Haven.
Yeah. Yep. So that means that's the first time that'll ever happen.
That is the first time.
I can't think of a time before that. So.
We haven't done it yet. So this will be the first time.
But I just mean where anybody stayed up there. That's
Well, I think Woody actually had an event up there one time.
Oh, he did? Okay.
But you're right. This is going to be the first Renatus sponsored event where we're going to have the winners not only qualify to be there, but we are going to give them accommodations. We're going to fly them to Utah. We're going to caravan everybody up to Bear Lake.
Yeah.
And then you're going to stay there. And we've got 4 or 5 action-packed days full of learning how to snowmobile, spending time out in the backcountry, spending time on the shooting range with Matt Crook, teaching everybody how to handle firearms and all of that. We're gonna have private trainings. We're gonna have guest speakers. We're gonna have catered meals, and we're gonna have some downtime. It's really great to have all of these activities packed together so tightly.
Yeah.
But it's meaningful to have a little bit of downtime where everybody's just kind of relaxing.
Hang out,
and
man.
You're hanging out.
And there's like 9 fireplaces outside, right? Like fire pits.
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration, but I don't know how many there are.
At least 3.
Like 3, yeah.
I can think of 3.
Anyways, the point being is that that's where I see great value. Besides the fun factor of these trips, the value comes from hanging out and building those relationships. That's I just got back from a
trip. Not yet.
And there's incredible value in hanging out with everybody and spending that time and getting to know
absolutely.
Yeah.
So that starts on September 1st and runs through the 30th. The recognition will happen in December, And then we'll also be doing a recognition at the national conference. But the actual trip, the dates of the trip have shifted to February 7th through the 11th.
Cool. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so just before Valentine's Day.
Yep.
You'll be home in time for Valentine's.
Yes, you will.
Yeah. Some people are jacked about that. Some people are not. So, yeah.
Why did you have to go there? Really? I mean, why did you?
Well, I just mean, no. I don't mean like that. I just mean that, some people probably wanted that as an excuse to not have to do all the Valentine's Day stuff.
Oh, man. Well, all right. So we've got the 10-day challenge. We've got the 5-star winner circle. Before either one of those, though, we have the opportunity to take a collective, take a big manga of our Renatus family down to Costa Rica.
Yes, we do.
And I'm pretty jacked. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this trip. Again, I mean, the people and all that stuff, but it's just these leaders retreats are awesome.
Yeah,
there's something special about them.
They are. And
I can't wait to see you guys.
I'm really excited for this one in particular for a couple of reasons. First, we sold out of our room block like that.
We did.
And so we've actually tried to contract with other hotels nearby to see if they would allow our people to stay there, but then have them come over to the Westin during the day.
Yep.
Contact Carol Allegre, watch the Founders Live. I don't have her information right on hand, but
it's on there. It's on the Founders Live.
Yeah, it's on the Founders Live. So go ahead and just watch the last Founders Live. You'll see that. But we are going to have such an excited group of people down there. It's going to be phenomenal. And then the big group excursion that we're doing on Monday.
What is that? On
so
a boat,
we have 2 huge catamaran sailboats that we're going to take around part of the coast. We're going to go to a private cove, and we're going to be doing snorkeling. We're going to be hanging out on the beach. We're going to be the fun things.
That'll be way cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm super excited about it, and it's going to be just Renatus folks. So we've got 2 boats now. So we had just one, but then we had so many people sign up for it that they actually gave us a second boat at no additional cost.
Whoa.
So
that's
we
sweet.
are going to have plenty of room. We're going to be able to take everybody. Make sure if you're signed up to go to the Leaders Retreat, make sure that you've got your ticket to get on the boat with us.
How do people do that?
So right now in the back office, right on the home page, in the lower left corner, there's the little tile that talks about the founders talks about the Leaders Retreat, and on there is a button for the excursion. You just click that and just sign up for the excursion, group excursion.
That'll be cool. So make sure you get registered for that. That's cool.
It's gonna be a lot of
Go
fun.
Snorkeling in a private cove.
Yes.
With all your friends.
Yes. The last time that we did something similar like this, me and you, we got surrounded by rays.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Manta rays.
Manta rays all around us, and it was super cool.
That was nuts because it was like 4 feet of water, and we're just
they just go right over your feet and
crystal clear water. Yeah, we're on the sand, and they're just they're coming in everywhere. It was really cool.
When we were where were we? I think we were in the Dominican Republic. We did a boat tour, and they took us out to a sandbar that was like a couple hundred yards offshore. So we felt like we were out there a little ways, but we were standing in 3 feet of water. Like, it was crazy cool.
Those are always wild. Like, because you go clear out into the ocean, and then you're standing in 3 feet of water, and it's like the shore is way over there. But science.
Pretty neat. I'm pretty excited for Costa Rica. Now, we have had a couple of people comment that they haven't been able to get registered for the small group trainings with the PAC members.
Okay.
I apologize. We need to get those reloaded into Helios. They were added incorrectly, and so we need to get those reloaded, and you'll see those come up. I'm hoping I can get it done today, but it may be tomorrow at the latest. So we'll get those up.
Right on.
Oh, I can't wait. The Leaders Retreat's gonna rock.
Yeah, it gets me excited, especially after having done something recently.
Shh. How many times? How many? So here's the deal. I have in all of the time that Bob and I have worked together, I have rarely seen Bob plan a training this far in advance, where literally after the national conference, he started to put together the training for the Leaders Retreat. And it is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, well, be there for it.
Yeah, be there.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah,
it's going to be cool. He's been working on it a long time.
He has.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we've got the Leaders Retreat. We've got the 10-day challenge. We got the 5-star Winner Circle. We got what else? One more thing.
We've got regionals coming up.
Regionals, baby.
Starting the end of August, actually.
That's correct.
So the 30th, was it?
Yep. So we've got the graphic up right now, and it's got the wrong date on it for Denver.
Yep.
Denver is actually going to be September 30th to October 1st. So a week later than it's right there on the graphic. But that is going to be the very first regional.
So I thought that there was...
I got my dates all mixed up when we were talking earlier.
Okay.
That's probably why you got messed
August? I was like...
Yeah, no. It's in September. So September 30th to October 1st is the first regional.
That's as I understood it previously.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So every single regional will include Scott Rowe, will include Woody Woodward, will include Mr. Bob Snyder, as well as
quite a lineup.
Local leaders.
Yeah.
So you've got the different event hosts for the different regionals that'll be there. You've got ancillary pack members that are going to be showing up in the different regionals. And then you will have other leaders as well. So every regional is going to include direct training for that market in a smaller, more condensed group, as well as an awards banquet to recognize those leaders in your markets, and then another day of training.
Yeah, and I would just say, if you're serious about your business, you're going to be at one of those regionals, at least one.
Yep.
At the minimum one, but find one that you can get to if you're not close to one.
Yeah, exactly.
And go to it. I'm telling you, it's same thing with nationals, right? We always say, like, that's the business goes from your head to your heart. There's just something wonderful about nationals and regionals.
Yep.
Right? Regionals are kind of a mini nationals. And so go. The training will be phenomenal. The training will be exactly what we need right now in this time, in this market to sell. So if you're serious about your business, you'll be there. If you're really wanting to do Renatus, you're going to find a way to be there.
Absolutely. And you're going to get trained by the best of the best.
Yep.
You're going to be able to rub shoulders with Scott Rowe. You're going to be able to hang out with Bob, learn from Woody, and, yeah, it's going to be awesome.
And others.
Others.
Yeah.
Many, many others. Much more.
But
wait, there's more.
Yep.
So that's kind of what's up and coming in the next couple of months with Renatus, and I'm super excited. I'm super stoked.
Yeah.
Super stoked.
Yeah.
But today, in a world. No, I'm just kidding. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what kind of benefits come from being a 5-star Winner Circle member.
Yeah.
So you had opportunity to accompany the 5-star Winner Circle to Kenya.
Yes, I did.
And go ahead.
I was just gonna say that trip was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, for so many reasons, right?
So give me some of the biggest aha moments you had, and then share with us some of those quiet moments that maybe weren't as transformational in the thought, but meant so much with the relationships you were able to build.
Well, so the first aha moment was just kind of seeing how things work over there. Talking to we went and met with a local tribe that's outside of Old Pajeta, if you're looking at it if you're looking at it on a map, but and these people have nothing, and they're so happy and they're so joyful, and it's because they have a sense of community. And it did occur to me, the thought, that's why Renatus stands out. We have community here that most other places do not. But it was really fun to see just how truly how happy people were even though they lived in poverty, and it was because they had a sense of community. That was neat. The other, there was another, watching the wildebeests cross the river.
Oh yeah,
that was insane. That was so cool. And by the way, getting to do all this and watch all this with my community was so fun. That was so cool. Like, being able to be with everybody else while this crazy event's happening and we're watching this thing. It was really fun. But the zebras kind of run the show. And
yeah, you were telling me about that. Share that with everybody. So you guys were at the river.
Yeah.
That all of the animals wanted to migrate across.
Yeah. So the Great Migration, which is why we were in Kenya at this time, is taking place. And so you've got literal millions, couple million wildebeest, plus I don't even know how many zebras and stuff that are migrating for food. And so they're migrating, and they got to cross many rivers, but the river that we were on, right, they had to get across it. And so they have to do this to keep traveling. The zebras round up all the way, and they'll do it in herds. So there's multiple crossings a day, every day for a while right now. But in the group that we saw, there was probably about 2,000 wildebeest that were rounded up, and the zebras are trying to get them to cross. And the reason the zebras are trying to get them to cross instead of the zebras just crossing the river is that there's crocodiles in that river, so, and lions on the other side potentially. So it's dangerous, and they get the wildebeest to do it for them, or basically first, so that they can minimize the risk of getting eaten, and then the zebras will actually like insert themselves in the middle of the pack and go in the middle of the stream of wildebeest crossing the river.
So the zebras, they kind of go around the whole herd, and then they start charging, trying to get the whole herd to go with them.
Yeah, they'll round everybody up. They kind of they'll lead them down to the river, and they'll kind of herd them. I don't know, like sheepdog them kind of down to the river, and then the wildebeest know they need to cross the river, but they stand there terrified at the water's edge, because they know that at any moment a crocodile could just pop out of those waters and snap them up. So they are terrified. And then in our case, we actually watched them run down to the river, and they all pile up, like to the point where there's no room at all. Like there's hundreds of wildebeests standing. The banks are like 100 feet deep, and so they're all over the hillside. They're all the way down on the banks of the river. They're just waiting there for the first guy to make his move and cross. And oftentimes what happens, so they would run back and forth, and we watched them do it 7 times before they actually crossed. But what that did was, it literally wasted like an hour of time going back and forth. They were too chicken to actually cross. And in that hour's time, they made a lot of noise, and crocodiles came.
Oh my gosh. So their hesitation actually attracted more of the danger they were trying to avoid.
Exactly. Their hesitation caused wildebeest to get eaten. Because they wouldn't have otherwise. They would have made it through this crossing, most likely, I think, in time, without. So if they had just jetted down to the river and crossed it, hurried and crossed it, nobody would have known.
Wow.
But they just, they're afraid. And so the zebras know this. They're smart. They're a lot smarter than wildebeests. Wildebeests are very much he's doing it, so I'm going to do it.
A herd mentality.
Very, very much. And it was really fun to watch. So, wow. And it was really fun to just do this with everybody. And, and you get back to camp, you get, at night, and we're all talking about what we saw. Because, we're all in Jeeps, and they're all, like, relatively close to each other. But there is so much going on that you don't see the same things even, And so somebody might see this thing, and, and it's just, and you start comparing videos, and you're like, wow, I can't believe you got that. And I got, look at what I got. So it was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm just trying to, you had said when you're in a group, be careful who you're taking your instruction from, because they don't always have your best interest at heart.
A lesson in who you outsource your thinking to. Are you listening to a real leader, or does that person or individual not have your best interest at heart and they're really out for themselves to just position? Anyways, so there's a life lesson there, careful who you just let do all the thinking,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Think for yourself.
I really like the idea, kind of what you had mentioned, that they had wasted so much time that they attracted all the dangers they were trying to avoid.
Oh, yeah.
That a lot of times, if you were to just go through it the first time, okay, I'll give you an example. There have been times when I had to have a difficult conversation with somebody, and I was not looking forward to it. And so I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off. Weeks I put it off. But the conversation still needed to happen. Got to the point where I finally had the conversation. And don't get me wrong, it sucked. Having the conversation was not fun. But when it was done, I was like, oh, finally.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I just caused myself weeks of uneasy. If I could have just had the conversation, gotten it over with weeks ago.
Yep, totally. And I see it with analysis paralysis is what we'll call it. But I see it with people with real estate. I see it with marketing. I see it with all sorts of stuff. I think it's very important to be educated and know what you're doing before you just make jumps. Right. Because there are dangers.
Right.
But at the point that the wildebeest went down and looked at the river and realized there's no crocs in it, they should have crossed.
Right.
Instead of waiting for crocs to show up.
Right.
So, yeah.
One thing that I can kind of compare this to inside of Renatus is for those individuals who get into Renatus, get excited, believe in the comp plan, and then say, I got to do a deal before I can actually market.
Yeah, there's a lot of those out there. And for some reason, they think that it's disingenuous to sell it.
Right.
Even though it's working for a whole lot of people, just because they haven't done it themselves yet, they think it's disingenuous. I would disagree. It works.
Oh yeah.
So just because it worked for this guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, but you haven't done it yet. Well, it worked for all of those people. It works.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with selling it. It works.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And don't be the wildebeest. Don't run down to the water and run back. Run down to the water and run back. Just go down to the water, make sure that you're being careful, and go for it.
Yeah, totally.
Don't spend those weeks of agony waiting to have the hard conversation.
Yeah.
Get it over with.
Yep, just do it.
Future you will thank you now.
That takes me back to the Art Williams speech.
Just do it. And
just
do it.
Do it.
And do it.
Do it.
And do it.
Do it.
Oh,
you
so
gotta
good.
watch it.
So good.
You gotta watch it if you haven't seen it.
Good old Art Williams.
Yeah, these 5-star winter circle trips though are phenomenal. Like there's just something about hanging out with everybody at dinner and just you get to go do all these fun activities with everybody. And I built relationships with people that I didn't have before, and that was really, really cool for me. To get to know people on such a deep level. Like we joke now, but war brings men together, right?
Right.
Well, so does safari. So
it's a struggle though. Anytime you go through a struggle together, that gives you something in common that you can't share with other people.
Yeah, you just kind of you create this bond through experience together.
Yep.
And so, the same thing with this next trip. It's going to be amazing. And I think staying in the same place also helps with free time and all that stuff. Like, you're staying in the same building. And that's anyways, I'm very much looking forward to this next one coming up. Wintertime is my favorite time up there. There's actually a lot to do up there in the wintertime. But it's going to be cool.
It is going to be really cool. So tell me, I know that you had opportunity to see all sorts of crazy animal experiences, right?
Oh,
you got to see lions, you got to see hyenas and monkeys and cheetahs and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So were you able to how do I ask this question properly? I guess there's in nature there's there's levels of predator, right? And then you get the top of the food chain.
Yep.
And I've always understood that the lion is the top of the food chain.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. We've decided. I mean, you know, there's still things that'll stomp out a lion. So,
right.
Yeah, you know, but the lions don't mess with the elephants.
Right.
They don't mess with the rhinos. You know, because they know they're gonna get jacked if they do. So.
Right, but they're not being hunted by the elephants or the rhinos.
Correct, and that's why they're the king. Because
Right.
yeah, they're the top predator.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me what did you learn from watching the behavior of the animals as they were interacting with one another?
Universal truth, man. I mean, and I say that meaning, like, you can think you're the top guy or something, but that might not be true, and you better check reality quick. Because you know, if the hyena thinks that he's on top, or the leopard thinks he's on top, he's gonna find out quick. It's just nature works off of these universal truths, and it was so like it's visceral, it's primal. It's like basically, if you're weak, if you're injured, or you know what I mean, like you're the slowest runner in the crowd, you're getting eaten, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. It's I mean, we watched it happen, and so it's terrifying, you know, like it, and exciting and exhilarating and hard to watch at the same time with some of the stuff, like, you know, and there definitely is a circle of life that takes place down there. So, but yeah, you can't get away with deviating from truth. So you can't lie to yourself. You know, if the leopard thinks that he's now king of the hill, he's gonna find out quick he's not.
So would you say that it's, you know, that you should play to your strengths?
Yes.
That if you try to pretend that you're something you're not, it's not going to benefit you?
Give you an example. Yes. So we watched a leopard with a kill take it up into a tree. Okay, so he got an impala. He put it in a tree, and man, we were just right time, right place, because there was so much going on. We were watching a herd of elephants, and then we kind of positioned ourselves in front of the elephants, and then, oh, hey, there's a leopard in this tree with a kill he's working on, and then there's a lion that's actually behind the elephants, and he moves down around them, and then comes up. He can smell the kill. And so that's what she, I should say, she could smell the kill, and so she's coming up. It's a lioness, and she comes to the base of the tree, and she's trying to figure out how to climb up that tree. The leopard knows he's not going to win a fight against her, but he can climb a tree, and she can't. So he goes clear up to the tippy top of that tree and hides there, basically, knowing she can't get up there to get him. I'm sure he was terrified still, but because it's scary anytime there's a lioness after you or your kill. But anyways, you know, leopards playing to its strengths, man. They climb really well, and lions don't, and which is why they take their kills up into the tree in the first place. Because
Right.
if they leave it on the ground, they're gonna have to fight a lion for it, or a pack of hyenas, or wild dogs, or, gosh, I mean, there's so many things. Just even, you know, other things that, you know, scavenge and stuff. The mongoose or the vultures. Right. There's swans. Swans eat meat there. So, yeah.
That's different.
They are gnarly birds, too. They look like freaking dinosaurs. They're not the swans you see in Disney movies. So, yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. You and I hadn't talked about swans.
No, we haven't. But they got some pretty sharp beaks and nabbers, and same with the vultures. The vultures have like this really sharp point on their beak, and it's just they can tear meat. They can tear meat right off the bone with it. So. All right. Yeah.
So play to your strengths.
Play to your strengths, man, and don't get deluded by anything that's not true. So what is really true, and you know, Don't outsource your thinking.
Don't outsource.
Take action.
Yeah.
Don't delay. Don't procrastinate.
So tell me a little bit about the opportunity that you had to hang out with the other, winners in the 5-star winner circle.
Man, a trip of a lifetime. I'll remember this for my lifetime. The relationships and friendships that I built, have for a lifetime. It's just, that's the you can't put a dollar amount on that.
Yeah.
And so that's what it's about. That's, as I see it, what these are about. Same with the leaders retreat and stuff like that, where you get together and you have fun together. Boy, there's a real relationship that's built there.
Yeah.
So and I think that those are critical if you're gonna be in business, man. The wildebeest needs the herd. So the lion needs his pride. Like they gotta have
their group. Their
pride. Pride is in group, not
right.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
But they need their community.
They need their community. You gotta have community if you're gonna get stuff done.
Yeah.
In the animal world, and I say in the business world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to play to your strengths.
Yeah.
And you got to lean into a challenge, not just delay until you do yourself harm because you delayed so long.
Totally. The lion is brute force. The leopard climbs trees. The hyenas are amazing at working together. So as a pack, like they and there's a lot of them. There's way more of them in a group than there would be lions, which is how they can hold their own on the Serengeti.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's really cool.
Wow. So tell me just a little bit more about the people, the natives, the locals that you talked with.
Yeah. Well, so there's kind of two different types of locals, if you will. You got people that are like literally living as man lived in Africa thousands of years ago. They're still living in that exact way. No power, no nothing, right? They're starting fires. They're cooking their food over a fire. They live on dirt floors and with huts that move around. Like they actually rebuild them every 3 months. Yeah, because they're made out of trash. So, yeah, they're made out of tin and cardboard and stuff like that. And so They have to rebuild them every 3 months to maintain them and maintain their integrity. So, those types of locals were incredible. It was awesome. They're happy. They're very warm. They're very loving. They definitely need their tribe to work together, to survive. They need their community, and you can tell because of that fact. They are such a tight-knit community. It is incredible, and because they're a tight-knit community, I saw a lot of joy, a lot of happiness in these people. And then you've got local Kenyans, right? That they're not they're living more of a what I'd call a Western kind of, in a way, where they've got a house and they've got running water and
right.
that sort of power.
Right.
So, but still similar ideals, especially in the slums of Nairobi. I was walking, or we were driving through. I wasn't walking in the slums. That would probably not be good. I was sitting behind tinted windows, and they were like, "Don't let them see you." So, because I'm an outsider. They don't like outsiders in their slums.
Okay.
And they very much. Not to say that it would have been particularly dangerous. But according to our guides, we more than likely would have become some kind of target to steal from or something like that, right? So,
right.
But what is really weird, or I guess weird as in it's not how we do things here, and it was really fascinating for me to see how they do it there, was they look out for each other inside of the slums. They are a community. You just don't think about that because that doesn't really exist here, not on this kind of level. Okay, so
right.
Where they really help each other and take care of it. So for instance, as we're driving through, I saw and mind you, the trash there is It's pretty gross. Like, because, picture a dumpster where everybody's thrown everything into for a week and it's been raining, like, and the dumpster lid doesn't shut. So, that's what the trash looks like. And I saw a pile. They had basically a dumpster, and he was separating it into a couple of piles, and I asked our guides, what is he doing? And he's separating the trash out as a community service. Like, so he's not getting anything out of it. Like, it's not for money, or no, it's just a community service. Everybody takes turns, like, doing those kinds of things. They all take care of each other.
Right.
Really cool. Yeah.
Wow. So last story that I want you to tell.
Okay.
I heard a rumor that at one point you actually got to hand feed a lion.
I did. That was not with the group, though. So that was the last day we're there. Things in Kenya operate a little differently. Okay. So especially their zoos and stuff like that, they're not like here. And so we got the opportunity to feed lions, 3 of them, and it was a little terrifying. I gotta admit, but it was such a cool experience. But yeah, we just had our guides, and it was the last day we were there. Everybody else had flown home, so we had an extra day with, like, there was a handful of other people, but they all went on their different way.
Right.
Like
Right.
So we had a couple of guides, and it was me and my dad. And they're like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, the only way that this trip can get better is if I feed a lion. That will top this trip off. And they made that happen. So it was so cool.
So tell me the circumstance here. Were you behind anything, or were you just...
Yes. So behind a chain link fence.
Chain link.
Yes. They licked my fingers, man. Like, and if my fingers got too far in there, they're coming off with the meat, man, because we're holding raw meat, right? So we're literally fishing raw meat through a chain link fence, and they are ferociously after it, right? Like, and they're hungry. They're 3 hungry lions. It was so, like, I hesitated so much trying to get the meat through the fence. Come on, like, and I'm trying to, like, shake it and get it through the little chain link hole on the fence, and finally get it, like, through, and their tongues are coming through the fence and licking my fingers, but their teeth can't make it through. And so I'm like, this is as close to a lion as I ever want to get, but this is cool. It was really fun. It was a cool experience. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, their tongues are really, like, coarse.
Yeah.
It's not like what you think. Like, I don't know, you just think of when your dog licks your face or whatever.
I don't let my dog lick my face. It drives me crazy.
I don't let any dog do it. But I have had dogs do it when I was young. They just come up, especially when you're 3 feet tall. They're right at eye level with you.
Yeah.
But the lion tongues are very coarse, and, like, it was wild, man. It was such a cool experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny because it sounds like chain link fence is not secure enough to contain a lion.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, like, it's really not. It was a little, like, the whole thing flexes and bows and bends out to you, and I'm like, this is not, we are not in Kansas anymore. Like,
so were these wild lions, or were they, like...
Yeah, they were orphaned lions. Okay, so they were born in the wild and then brought there.
Okay, so they were in some sort of a preserve of some sort.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But they were born wild, man. And there is not, like, you can't, if they're born wild, you can't really housebreak them. What's the term?
Tame them.
Like, tame them. They're not, they're still wildness in them.
Right.
And so, yeah, they were just hungry, and they're fighting for it. And it was nuts.
Wow.
Now, there were lions that there was no way they were going to let us feed.
Right.
So they're particularly, because they had a whole bunch of lions there, of varying ages, and they had them separated because you can't put them all together. Some of them will kill each other.
Right.
So it might be like one male or two brothers or something. They're like with a female or multiple females, and then the next one over is an old lion that they saved from infection, and the next one, you know what I mean? So that kind of situation. There was one lion where he was in a big, it was actually a pretty big enclosure, but with, I believe it was only one other female, if memory serves, but man, that guy, oh my gosh. When he was sitting there growling, like roaring, because food was coming and he knew it.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, I was like, I would crap my pants if I was in the bush, just some bush somewhere with a spear, like, yeah, I'm gonna get him, guys. Like, because you just realize how powerful. I mean, this lion, if I had to guess, probably over 500 pounds.
Oh wow.
Big old male, huge mane, full grown, in his prime,
Right.
mating with this female, and they fed him like a rack of ribs from a cow, so a whole rack, like a whole side, and they literally like have two sections, so they go into like a gated area, and then they have like a door that they can lift or whatever, and they literally just like fish it under the door and then let the door shut. It's kind of like a guillotine kind of door. And and then they all stand back, and he grabs it, and once he grabs it and takes off, then they can go out of the gated area, the secondary gated area and stuff. But he was ready to jack somebody for that stuff. I mean, I got just a small piece of it on video, and the video does not do justice to, like, your whole chest vibrates when he roars. And yeah, he tried to kill everybody that was trying to feed him. I mean, like really, like dust is flying up everywhere, and he is just freaking out, but because he's hungry, and they were taking too long to get that meat under the guillotine gate kind of thing. So, because they're all probably crapping their pants trying to, you know what I mean? Like, just
crazy.
Not like our zoos, I tell you, because you go to our zoos and the lions are like asleep.
Right.
And it's just because they're not wild lions. Like, they're not, it's not the same. So, yeah, it was crazy.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
That's intense.
It was fun.
So, worth it?
Oh, yeah, totally. Incredible, once in a lifetime kind of an experience. Although, I think we should do it again. So, maybe, a year, 2, 3, I don't know, down the road here, I think we should do it again. Somehow, some way.
Right.
Maybe even bring more people.
Yeah.
Find a way. I would love to see us as a community do this again. I would love to see us include more people somehow. I'm not sure how. Just somehow, I would love to see this work.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, dude, that's awesome. I really appreciate you sharing your experience and kind of some of the takeaways that you had. Pretty incredible that you didn't just get to have that experience, but then you got to have that experience with people in your community.
Oh, yeah.
And we're able to strengthen those bonds. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, my friendships with everybody there have 10x'd.
Nice.
So that's what's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's what I come home with.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, super cool. Well, thank you, sir, for sharing. I appreciate it. And for all of you fans of the Jam, we will be back next week. And do we have a guest lined up for next week?
Not yet.
Not yet?
So, yeah.
All right. We'll get a guest lined up for next week, and we'll make sure that we bring it to you hardcore.
We'll have a really good one.
Really good one. All right. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. Don't forget that it is the people who surround Renatus that make it absolutely rock. We'll see you guys next week. Renatus rocks.
Right on.